everyone. My name is Matt Ulrich. I'm doing a video series throughout these next 8 weeks, as long as I can continue to make videos when I can. I'm just going to do some breakdown on teams, give my thoughts and my impressions on each NFL team going by division to division. The first division I will start with is the AFC West, and I'm going to start with the team that's getting a lot of buzz so far throughout, and it's going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. And I'm going to start with their offense, and then I'm going to have a separate video for their defense, and then I'm going to give my final impressions on what I think of how they're going to do, and see what happens. Alright, and if you hear shuffling papers like I'm Rush Limbaugh, well, that's because I do have some. Alright, so looking at their offense, it's good. It looks good. Right now their quarterback is Phillip Rivers, who's been there for the 14th year, 15th, one or the other. I forget how NFL does these things. And he's a good quarterback. He's a Pro Bowl perennial. I think this year he could be back in the Pro Bowl. He could be back he could be back in the Pro Bowl because this is a well-built team for him to throw for maybe 4,500 yards and I'm going to say over under 25 touchdowns. Again, it depends, how he is. If he doesn't experience any type of kind of decline. I almost said decline. Weird. And he's still going to be a great quarterback. And I'm not even going to worry about his backup because he's not Sam Bradford. That's going to be the guy I'm going to have to. Can't wait to have to talk about the Cardinals. Yeah, so I think he's going to be fine. He's got loads of young backups: Cordell Jones, friggin' Geno Smith, and Nick Schmuck. But enough about quarterback. Let's talk about his weapons. Unfortunately, Hunter Henry. Oh boy, torn ACL, non-contact through minicamp. It's just one of those injuries where it's just unfortunate and unlucky. You can't prepare for these kind of things. You can't really say, what could have we done better and all that kind of stuff. It's just one of those things, it happened, you recover, and you move on. And the tight end core is definitely suffered a huge setback. There are talks that they might bring back Antonio Gates, who's still a free agent. Yeah, 39? 38. I'm going to say 38. 38-year-old tight end Antonio Gates could be back. Or they might bring in another tight end, probably get the rookies in, but don't be shocked if you see Antonio Gates back with the Chargers for perhaps his final season. But even though the tight end position took a major hit, their wide receiving core is still pretty has a lot of depth. And for this case, it's a very good reason. We could definitely see more four wide receiver looks with a running back, and I wouldn't be surprised if their final roster had 6 receivers instead of having 6 receivers to make up for the loss of Hunter Henry. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more especially 4 receiver looks with a receiving running back. And it's with good reason. Their wide receiving core is good, and I love talking about this receiving core because in 2017 we were reminded about how good this player was, and you guys know who I'm talking about. It's Keenan Allen. I think he's definitely a top 5 wide receiver. In 2013, he was a very good and dangerous wide receiver, and we were reminded of that in 2017 because from 2014 to 2016, it was just marred with injuries. Whether it's a leg injury, an arm injury, a kidney injury, I'm pretty sure it was there at some point. And in 2017, he had perhaps his most healthy year that he could have had, and reminded everyone how good he was. And he definitely reminded how good that he was. He was definitely nominated for a Pro Bowl, and watching him, I can point to one game. His game against Dallas in Thanksgiving, he played a great game, and if he can stay healthy again, if he can continue, that impressive durability that he had in 2017, there will be without a doubt he can be leading the NFL in either in yards or touchdowns, one or the other. And then you look at the depth; it's definitely something to marvel. Uh, right now, I think wide receiver 2 might be Mike Williams, who was drafted first round last year. Mike Williams didn't really get that much playing time due to an injury that he had. He was recovering from in during the 2017 NFL draft. So his playing experience was very limited. He had to be slowly brought in, et cetera, et cetera. I think this year he could definitely explode. He could be a candidate. I don't think he's going to reach the 1,000-yard mark because I think Philip Rivers, outside of Keenan Allen, he's going to spread the ball around pretty well. So he might get maybe 60 receptions, close to a little over 800 yards, and maybe 6 touchdowns. That's probably something you do want from a wide receiver too. If he does reach the 1,000-yard mark, I will eat my words, but I highly doubt it. And then the rest of the depth, you got Travis Benjamin and Tyler Williams. Both those guys are very good. I think they could at best hold the number 2 wide receiver on their own, but as long as Keenan Allen can stay healthy, this wide receiver core is probably the most dangerous in 9 league. The most dangerous out of all wide receiver cores. More dangerous than the Falcons. More dangerous than pick an AFC team. And then down to the last 2 positions, you got running back. Melvin Gordon is starting to become a household name. A top 5 back in the making. If he can continue this hot streak, and I think he will. He could go back to the Pro Bowl. And Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is their receiving running back, and this is what Philip Rivers needs to succeed. From 2006 to 2010, 2007 to 2010, you had Darren Sproles as their receiving running back, and then you had Dane Woodhead for a couple of years until injuries piled up, and then he went to the Ravens. Philip Rivers just loves throwing to the check down wide receiver running back. And this kind of thing definitely makes sense for him. You want a reliable check down back just in case, things are not opening up, or, a wide receiver goes down, or another weapon goes down. And Eckler and even Melvin Gordon, to some extent, can both carry that role. This is definitely something that it really can make this all succeed. I'm not sure top 5, but definitely top 10. I would place him top 10, probably number 9 at worst. And then finally the offensive line, which they did a pretty good job improving. Right now the tackles are still Russell Okung and Joe Barksdale, and perhaps their guards, especially the interior, did get some improvement. Right now Dan Feeney's going to still retain his starting position at left guard, and probably at right guard is probably going to be Forrest Lamp, who missed the season last year due to a torn ACL during training camp. But their center, they got a new center. It's no longer Matt Slauson. It's now Mike Pouncey, who was released from the Dolphins way back when, and he landed with the Chargers. This could be a good place for him, a better environment than the Dolphins. And this could really improve this offense. You could see definitely better pass blocking and more run lanes being open. So you got a pretty good offense to deal with. Again, if players can stay healthy. Forrest Lamp or, God forbid, Dan Feeney goes down at some point in minicamp or even in training camp, it could really spiral out of control. Or if Mike Pouncey becomes a huge headache to deal with, then, it's going to be more of mentality and durability, not talent. So this is definitely a dangerous offense to deal with. And in this defensive league with going against the Broncos twice, who improved on defense, going against the Raiders, who improved on defense, and even the Chiefs, who mixed on defense. This is something that they would really need to propel them to not only get into the playoff hunt, but even claim the division and win it once again. All right, and next video, talk about defense. Catch you later.